Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. My conversation with Melania Trump. She speaks out about the tape that surfaced of her husband boasting about being able to kiss and grope women and get away with it because he's a celebrity. She reacts to all those women coming forward, alleging he actually did one or both of those things to him. In a moment, you'll hear how she sees it and how she sees herself as First Lady should her husband win 3 weeks from tomorrow, which is where we begin, with the Trump campaign making new allegations that this election is rigged and a fraud, slamming the media, even slamming his own party's leadership for not confronting what he now appears to see as the defining theme of the campaign. Donald Trump is in Green Bay, Wisconsin tonight after attacking Wisconsin Congressman and House Speaker Paul Ryan. CNN Jim Acosta is there too. He joins us now. So Trump started the day with an early morning Twitter spree alleging the system is rigged against him. Did he say more about that tonight?
Yes, he has, Anderson. Just the last few minutes, actually, Donald Trump went through these allegations again, saying that these accusations of sexual assault that have surfaced in the news media over the last week or so have really been a part of what he calls a rigged conspiracy to throw the election to Hillary Clinton. In just the last few minutes, he said that these accusations, he called them events that never happened. And he said, I do think that most people believe me. At one point, he said that the media is simply trying to put up nice, sexy headlines, even though nothing ever happened. So Donald Trump once again denying that he ever sexually assaulted anyone at this rally here in Green Bay. And Anderson, this rally is pretty fired up. People here, I don't want to use language we shouldn't use on TV, but the crowd here has chanted CNN sucks about a half a dozen times. They've also chanted tell the truth. And before Donald Trump even came out here, Sheriff David Clark from the Milwaukee area said it's pitchforks and torches time. That basically describes the atmosphere and the mood here in Green Bay tonight, Anderson.
And we should point out very soon we're going to be playing the complete interview that we just did with Melania Trump earlier today. But Jim, the rally there tonight in Wisconsin, what did he say about Paul Ryan on his home turf?
So far, nothing to this crowd here about Paul Ryan, but we could tell you that there was somebody here holding a sign here that it was a Paul Ryan campaign sign with the word traitor written across it. We should point out that the word traitor was spelled T-R-A-D-E-R, not T-R-A-I-T-O-R. So sort of a misuse of the word there, the English language there. Also, the crowd at one point chanted, Paul Ryan sucks. So even though we're in Wisconsin, we're in the speaker's home state, this crowd is so fired up and so upset with the establishment in Washington, they're willing to say that about somebody who is a native son at a Donald Trump rally. Anderson?
Jim Acosta. Jim, thanks very much. Now, Melania Trump. Up to this point, she's been very quiet about the allegations surrounding her husband. She did put out a statement right after that tape surfaced 10 days ago. Until today, she's not spoken on camera about the video of him and Billy Bush on that bus 11 years ago and his remarks about grabbing women and being allowed to do that because he's famous. Bear in mind, he was 59 years old at the time and recently married to Melania Trump, who sat down with us today at Trump Tower. This has obviously been a difficult time. How are you holding up? How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm very strong. I'm very confident, and I live my life. I take care of myself and of our son and my husband, and I'm doing great.
When you came down that escalator more than a year ago, the day your husband announced the campaign, did you ever expect all this stuff would come out, these allegations would be made, that you would have to be sitting here defending him?
You never thought about that, but I'm not surprised in one way, because a lot of people, they're against my husband, and he's run for president, so nothing surprised me.
It's got to be hard, though. I mean, it's got to be a difficult thing.
In one way, it's hard because press, it's very dishonest, and it's a lot of lies that they've written also about me as my husband. And you need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I filed a few lawsuits, and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
It was 10 days ago that Access Hollywood released that tape. I'm wondering, when you first saw it, when you first heard it, what did you think?
I I said to my husband that, the language is inappropriate. It's not acceptable. And I was surprised because that is not the man that I know. And as you can see from the tape, the cameras were not on. It was only a mic. And I wonder if they even knew that the mic was on, because they were kind of a boy talk, and he was lead on, like egg on, from the host to say dirty and bad stuff.
You feel the host, Billy Bush, was sort of egging him on?
Yes, yes.
Is that language you had heard him use before?
No, that's why I was surprised, because I said, I don't know that person that would talk that way, and that he would say that kind of a stuff in private. I heard many different stuff, boys talk. The boys, that the way they talk when they grow up and they want to sometimes show each other, oh, this and that, and talking about the girls. But I was surprised, of course. But I was not surprised that the tape came out. I was not surprised about that.
Why?
Because, as I said, it's many people from the opposite side that they want to damage the campaign. And why now? Why after so many years? Why 3 weeks before the election?
Your husband has said maybe that he felt the Clintons had something to do with it, or the media. What do you think?
Well, it was the media. It was NBC. It was Access Hollywood. It was left-wing and left-wing media. And you could see that. And the way it comes out was everything was organized. Every Friday something comes out. So they play. And it was hour after hour. I watched TV, was hour after hour, bashing him, because they want to influence the American people how to vote, and they're influencing in the wrong way.
The information about your husband's 1995 taxes were released right before the first debate, then this came out just days before the second debate. You're saying that's not a coincidence?
No, that was all organized, yes. They planned that way, because they don't want to talk, the opposition doesn't want to talk about WikiLeaks and the emails and Benghazi and all the rest of the stuff. They don't want to talk about it. So they said, let's do something so we will hurt his campaign.
The Washington Post leaked the tape, and they released the tape. NBC had it they said they had it for several days, and they were reviewing it. But you believe that that the NBC could have released it. You think they knew about it long ago?
Yes, they knew a long time ago. And I'm sure they did. And Washington Post, when did we hear or read any great stories about my husband or about me? The true stuff, the facts, the real stuff. Or New York Times. We never read. They bashing.
You feel they've been very unfair?
Yes.
Your husband said that, well, he said he apologized to you after the tape, and that you accepted the apology. What was that conversation like? Can you talk about it?
Well, what we talk in private, I will keep it private. And he apologized. I accept his apology. I hope the American people will accept it well. And it was many, many years ago. He's not the man that I know. And as I many times said, and he said it as well, it's very hard, especially for him, when he decided to run for presidency, because he did so many stuff in his life. He was on so many tapes, so many shows, and we knew that tapes will come out, people want to go against him. But my husband is real, he's raw, he tells it as it is. He's kind, he's a gentleman. He supports everybody. He supports women. He encourages them to go to the highest level, to achieve the dreams. He employs many, many women. And as you can see, I see now, it's a lot of backlash on the media, the way they treated him.
He described it as locker room talk.
Mm-hmm.
To you, I mean, you've sort of alluded to that as well. Is that what it is to you, just locker room talk?
Yeah, it's kind of two teenage boys. Actually, they should behave better, right?
He was 59.
Correct. And sometimes I said, I have two boys at home. I have my young son and I have my husband. So, but I know how some men talk, and that's how I saw it, yes.
Michelle Obama, who I know have spoken positively of in the past, she said last week about what your husband said on that tape. She said, "This was not just a lewd conversation. This wasn't just locker room banter. This was a powerful individual speaking freely and openly about sexually predatory behavior and actually bragging about kissing and groping women." In terms of what he actually said on the tape, not saying he did it, but what he said, the behavior he described to you, is that sexual assault?
No, that's not a sexual assault. He didn't say he did it. And I see many women coming to him and giving phone numbers and want to work for him, or inappropriate stuff from women, and they know he's married. So
you've seen that?
Oh yes, of course. It was in front of me.
In front of you?
In front of me. And I said, like, why you need to give your number to my husband? I'm very strong. People, they don't really know me. People think and talk about me, oh, Melania, oh, poor Melania. Don't feel sorry for me. Don't feel sorry for me. I can handle everything. And for people talking like that, I see in the press a lot, almost like celebrities or people, they think they're celebrities. I would suggest to them to look themselves in the mirror and to look at their actions and to take care of their own families.
In terms of what Michelle Obama was saying, she was saying that essentially any unwanted advance toward a woman, kissing a woman, touching a woman without consent, that is sexual assault. That's the definition.
Yes, I agree with that, but every assault should be taken care of in a court of law. And to accuse, no matter who it is, a man or a woman, without evidence, it's damaging and it's unfair.
She went on to say, Michelle Obama, she talked about that feeling of terror and violation that too many women have felt when someone has grabbed them or forced himself on them and they've said no, but he didn't listen.
Who didn't listen? My husband didn't do anything.
No, I think she was just talking general about...
Oh, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, she should also look maybe the people who supported her, what they're doing. So, I'm not surprised she said that.
I know you want your voice to be heard on this. So a number of women have come forward. They've made allegations against your husband. Some of them go back more than 30 years. He has said they're lying. Do you believe him?
I believe my husband. I believe my husband. This was all organized from the opposition. And with the details that they go, did they ever check the background of these women? They don't have any facts. And even the story that came out in People magazine, the writer, that she said that my husband took her to the room and started kissing her. She wrote in the same story about me that she saw me on Fifth Avenue and I said to her, Natasha, how can we don't see you anymore? I was never friend with her. I would not recognize her.
That never happened?
Never happened. That's why I sent them the letter, because it discredited the story.
Right. Your lawyer has sent a letter to People magazine saying they have to retract.
Yes, because it was not true. So how we could believe her? That never happened. I was never a friend with her. I saw her. She interviewed us twice. She came to the wedding, and for that story, that's it. I would not recognize her on the street or ask her why we don't see her anymore. So that was another thing, like, you know, people come out saying lies and not true stuff.
Has this whole campaign been harder than you expected? I mean, I know you said you came into this with your eyes open, but has it been tougher than you expected? Melania will answer that question when we come back, and whether this campaign has made her marriage to Donald Trump stronger, all that ahead. I talked to Melania Trump earlier today at Trump Tower. She says her husband's remarks about groping women were boy talk egged on by Billy Bush. Again, at the time he made them, egged on or not, Donald Trump was 59 years old. She blames the left-wing media for the tape coming out and blames the media overall for what she says is unfair coverage of her and her husband. It's a theme she picks up on in part 2 of our interview. Has this whole campaign been harder than you expected? I mean, I know you said you came into this with your eyes open, but has it been tougher than you expected?
I didn't expect media will be so dishonest and so mean. I didn't expect that. Also for me, from the beginning, I never had one correct story, one honest story. From New York Post, 2 days in a row, they put me on the cover with the pictures that I did many, many years ago as a model. I'm very proud I did those pictures. I'm not ashamed of my body. I feel very comfortable with myself and with my body. And they were taken for a European French magazine. And in Europe, we are proud of bodies, no matter what size you are. And it was done as an art, as a celebration of female body. So they put it twice in a row. In that story, they put the date when pictures were taken wrong. They never called me when the pictures were taken.
Right, there were allegations that
I was here.
It was much earlier than you were actually here.
Correct. And suddenly it becomes, I'm here illegally, I was married before. I said, like, yeah, find me the husband that I was married before my husband. So there were a lot of dishonest stuff. And that surprised me, that they will not check the facts and that reporters will just write. And surprised me also because every story, it's a female reporter. And that's why when they went too far on the website, one of the websites and newspapers, and the blogger as well, I said, this is it. I will fight for myself. I will fight for my name. They cannot damage my name and my reputation because it's not true. And the names that they're calling me, they're calling my husband, they're calling my family, it's unacceptable.
In defending himself, and your husband has, again, categorically said these allegations are all false.
Yes.
He's made some comments about the way some of the women who are accusing him look. What do you think about that?
Well, that's him. He's raw. He will say it as he feels it. So, I know he respects women, but he's defending himself because they are lies.
You have a young son.
Yes.
Is he aware of all this? Is that a conversation you have to have with your son?
I let him have a normal childhood as possible. We talk a lot about the campaign. We talk about the language because I don't allow that he uses bad language. He's in that age, and all the boys are in that age. They say some bad words, and it's very normal. They're growing up. But I tell him that, there are consequences as well, and he he needs to be careful the language he uses. I teach him, I tell him, that's why it was my decision not to be on the campaign trail. I don't listen to anybody about what to do, what to say it, when to do interviews. If it will be, for example, for my husband or the campaign, they will have me on the trail all the time. They wish to have me there. But I made the decision. I will be a parent to our boy, to our child.
Your husband said last week that you two are stronger today than you ever were before. Do you feel that way?
We always have a great marriage and strong relationship. And he said many times, you know, that I'm a rock for a whole family. And yes, we are very strong. We are two independent people thinking on their own and have a very open conversation. And I think that's very healthy for the relationship.
The other thing that's being talked a lot about on the campaign trail, that your husband is saying he believes the election is rigged, that there's a lot of forces trying to rig it. Do you feel that as well?
Well, I see it how the media is portraying. I see how they're reporting and what they want to say and what they don't want to say. They're going, just for example, he makes a speech 45 minutes long. They take a sentence out and they're going on and on and on about that sentence, nothing else. And he talks about the issues, and that's what American people want to hear. It's about issues, about jobs, about the future of our country. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to secure the borders. He wants to secure America. He wants to bring jobs back. He wants to bring economy back. And he's very passionate about American people because he knows he can do that. He's a worker. He's a fighter. He's very passionate about it, and he will not give up. He will fight till the end. And he will fight for American people as he's fighting now for himself.
You have one more debate coming up. Do you
Yes.
get nervous?
No.
You don't?
No. I always said to him, be you, be yourself, be calm, be focused, stay on the issues, because American people, they want to hear what you will do for them. Because we discuss many times at home, and I know what is in his mind, and the way he can lead that country.
We're 3 weeks to the election. If you could let the American people know one thing about your husband, what would it be? Because right now, the latest polls show, I think, more than 60% of people believe your husband made some sort of unwanted advances. What do you want those people to know? What would you say to them? Well, we'll have her answer to that question coming up, and the panel reaction as well. Now, for part 3 of my interview with Melania Trump before the break, you heard her say repeatedly she believes her husband, not the women who have come forward and have accused him of touching them inappropriately. She, like her husband, says they are lying. The majority of the American public does not agree, and I asked her about that. We're 3 weeks to the election. If you could let the American people know one thing about your husband, what would it be? Because right now, the latest polls show, I think, more than 60% of people believe your husband made some sort of unwanted advances. What do you want those people to know? What would you say to them?
That my husband is kind and he's a gentleman, and he would never do that. That everything was organized and put together to hurt him, to hurt his candidacy.
Organized by the opposition?
By opposition, yes.
Media Clintons?
Media Clintons, yes.
You think they're working together?
Yes, of course.
Last time you and I spoke, you talked about what you would hope to do in the White House. Have you given more thought to that? Where is your thinking right now?
Well, my passion is the same, helping children and helping women. And also I see now in 21st century, the social media, it's very damaging for the children. We need to guide them and teach them about social media, because I see a lot of negativity on it, and we need to help them. It has some positive effects as well, because this is the life that we live in now, but has a lot of negativity as well. And I see more and more children being hurt by it.
There's a lot of bullying that goes on.
A lot of
online.
bullying. I stopped social media a year and a half.
You did?
I did.
For yourself?
For myself. I post some of the stuff, but I'm not posting. I'm not a attention seeker. My life is not a photo app. And I decided not to be on social media anymore, because I see the negativity, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Do you tell Mr. Trump to not tweet so much?
Yes, but that's his decision. He's an adult. He knows the consequences. I give him many advices, but you know, sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't, and he will do what he wants to do on the end, as I would do what I want to do.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, a lot to talk about with our panel tonight. Joining